Okay, see, that's why I was saying I don't know how long ago, but it was a lot earlier. It was a long time video ago that I said that, excuse me, with four $4 trillion before President Obama or whatever. He said he's like supposed to be my representative. That's kind of funny, but anyways, this guy gets elected. 4 trillion from Bush and all the previous um, presidents before. We all were in debt about $40,000 a piece. So that's what I'm saying. The reason why I say that each person is probably at about $100,000 or so on the national debt, and I know that I pointed that out and said that, but I didn't make this connection with everybody and do the screen share deal and show you on the link that that is almost 16 trillion. Another report out today notes that each working American must work 7 months this year to pay taxes since inauguration day in 2009. The amount owed on the national debt by each and every American has increased by more than $64,000. And that was, uh, that says July 2012. So that was one term of Obama, and this guy wants to wants to replace another Supreme Court justice who I just pointed out in the video right before this one that they are basically the left wing people that occupy the seats are antagonists, and they are left wing nuts with the ideological agenda, and they are attacking it and taking steps to deconstruct each person's constitutional rights given to them as being an American citizen, natural or unnatural, but natural first. Then we're going here. 23 celebrities you didn't know or realize support Donald Trump for president. We'll go through uh, these backwards here on this crazy Buzzington Post thing. Howard Stern. Uh, this is number two. Who was number one? Number one. Number one. Number one was Donald Trump. Donald Trump supports Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump has just officially endorsed himself. Howard Stern said he would never vote for another Democrat. The self proclaimed king of all media announced on his show that he thought Trump will be the Republican nominee because he'll get shit done, later adding that people are sick of the traditional politician and Trump is not that. No, he's a businessman, and the more that those elitist jerks talk smack about him, the more um uh wanting to maybe vote for him. All I'm gonna say is I'll say this much. I'll say I'm more than likely going to vote for Donald Trump. I'm not gonna say that I'm voting for him in the primary in March. Next month I'll vote for somebody on the Republican ticket in the primary or whatever, I think. Um, and I'm more than likely gonna vote for Trump, but I don't know. So Dan Blizzard. So I'm not really familiar with this guy, but they put him in here. So the self-styled king of Instagram, Dan Blizzard, gave Trump his endorsement because he's pro-gun, not politically correct, and says what's on his mind. Yeah, I'm all of those things. So when I heard that, I thought that sounded like how I think politically. Generally, I kind of wrap my head around those thoughts. I'm gonna point out Gene Simmons said something I heard him say somewhere on Fox or somewhere. I seen a clip or something. He's actually talked good about Hillary Clinton. I don't know if he was just trying to dodge, trying to say something bad about the lady or what, but I thought it was kind of silly saying something positive about the Democrats at all when each person's debt is up that high and they're going to cram stuff down our throat that's going to make our national debt, our children and everybody else have to pay that. And out of all the disabled people and the people that aren't going to work or whatever, just going to whatever, just relax and not do their parts. Um, they're going to make everybody else who works have to accumulate to pick up the slack for the other people who don't work. So, and up to this point in time, it's about getting things accomplished um, for everybody. Everybody has to have a certain goal and be wise to what that goal is as an American citizen. Get that, or maybe get your head checked or something. I don't know. Don't endorse candidates who are for people uh, coming here illegally, coming here smuggling uh, uh, things in here, just doing illegal stuff. You know, so I'm not for the corrupt at all. I'm really sick of it. I knew that they were going to have that much um, influence in a bad way. The liberals were when they got Obama in there. So, anyways, Gene Simmons is another celebrity apprentice cast member who has endorsed Donald Trump. The Kiss bassist called Trump a friend, a great father, and a straight shooter. So that's cool. I believe what Gene Simmons said about Donald Trump. I don't have a problem with Donald Trump. Tom Brady. We knew Tom Brady endorsed Donald Trump for a while now. Patriots quarterback quietly endorsed Donald Trump when seen with a "Make America Great Again" Trump slogan hat in his locker, and his claim Trump has done amazing things. Yeah, Trump's really somebody to. I would say that people who talk smack about billionaires, they would be a billionaire if they could. Any of us would if they had the opportunity. So, and all of us could somehow find ourselves in the, uh, the positive to have that actually happen. So it's kind of a hypocrite kind of, in my opinion, I think people are a hypocrite for talking smack about him for having that, and people who are business and are billionaires or wealthy. The Democrats are talking about taking away from them because that's where productivity lies. They're not going to go after people who already have money and assets already there, and they want to act like they're going to go after people for existing assets, but that's not true. They're going to go after business people who are going to um, figure out a way to pass a lot of the tax burdens off onto us on the products that we buy or whatever it is that's going to make inflation go up. And that's the bubble maybe Trump was talking about when he was talking about the bubble. The bubble is charging extreme prices or higher prices and can have an effect on merchandise if you sell it for as much as three times the amount of its normal cost, or what the if however they set prices on things in the market. If you go three times the amount, you already go two times the amount on stuff somewhere. That's bad enough as it is. But it said when I researched the bubble catastrophe, it said if you once you go over three times the amount of a product, you're causing a problem in the market. They're getting greedy, and that's terrible. So kudos to people who make billions of dollars or millions of dollars or whatever they did without cheating other people like that by keeping a set price on their products because they work hard or whatever they do. They're more productive, I would guess. Chuck Yeager. He talks a lot about the same stuff I do. I think Obamacare is, I say, atrocious. It's unconstitutional, uh, but it is a thing that rips off people. Just like when Bill Clinton was president, he went after people's 401ks and their IRAs and their retirements. And today, the Democrats are still trying to figure out a way to go after people's retirements in the bank. You're talking about people who have saved money up. Those are people who Obamacare is ripping off right now for the Democrats. So Obama is proud, socialist, communist, whatever piece of garbage, he wants to call himself. So Obamacare's got to go. Set Obamacare, or people's make tell them they have to get insurance, but make the premiums go down in the price that it costs for every person to be able to be affordable. And the government should be able to come in with their social programs or whatever the hell they're doing to make sure that people don't be going into debt overall a bunch of hospital bills, and that the government gives each person backing or something for their insurance. I see it being about maybe $16 a person. If every American had their own private insurance, it wouldn't be hundreds of dollars like the rip off, like they're saying. So, anyways, pro Second Amendment. Um, and about the securing the border, I just said if the liberals were serious about the border, they would put a facilities on the border where people come in here can check in there if they're legitimate and they're not a terrorist or any kind of a threat, and they want to work here. They could honestly set up a social place down there and show how socialism or whatever they're trying to get at or whatever is supposed to work, but it's not. It ends up being negative for whatever people. They can't make enough money. You know what I mean? I mean, you're talking about everybody else out here. We could all be given $1 million and we could all live steadily. So you make me president ever, and I will consider throwing each person $1 million effing dollars. I'm serious. Each person, like, you talking about the banks getting all the bailouts, whatever. You give each person $1 million and then order them all to pay their debts, all their debts that they've ever acquired that they had never paid. Give each person $1 million and they pay those sitting debts. You just solve the problem, and you then order the banks to basically be um, to where they don't take dishonest loan notes to and get and then make a debt, another debt from somebody who's not gonna ever pay it. You know, Mark Cuban Dallas Mavericks owner made his views clear. I don't care what his actual positions are. Cuban real. I don't care if he says the wrong thing. He says what's on his mind. He gives honest answers rather than prepared answers. This is more important than anything any candidate has done in years. Unquote. Right? All these people are we're quoting what they just said. So again, like I said, I'm probably more than likely going going to um, vote for Donald Trump. More than likely. Let's see, I got no views here yet. So um, 7. Kenny Rogers. In an interview with The Guardian UK paper, the country singer was asked what he thought of Donald Trump. His response was, I really like him. I think his problem is that he says what everyone wants to hear, but he doesn't say it well. Rogers said, I love what he says. I have to admit, he can be president and not owe anybody anything. He's one of the few people who has the money to do it and has the guts to do it. My personal opinion of Donald Trump is that I think he's as funny as George Bush, but he's got he's witty. He's not. I don't think he's really said anything silly. But his remarks about Bush, anyways, I don't think that puts him in a bad position. A lot of the things that Trump says, he's doing a good job at teetering the conversation. So he's trying to get a reaction. He's on a lot of the things that he's saying, he just wants to see what people have to say, what their opinion is. So he's trying to spice it up a little bit. He doesn't maybe necessarily believe that Bush is a whatever people accuse George Bush of being. He wants to spice the conversation up, so things that he's Trump's been saying are um, just like that, like what I'm saying. So, anyways, Kenny Rogers, of what he says, I have to admit, he can be president and not owe anybody anything. He's one of the few people who has the money to do it and has the guts to do it. Yeah, and see, and other people with money should ought to run, and then they all like enough of them that have already been successful business people and in jobs and stuff. Instead of getting a payment or going and making money off of the government like that, they just go and make America uh, really productive. So it's probably against what socialists want. They want to give our country and all this stuff away, pander to you, buy your vote. So I don't want to buy your vote. I want to see that you are doing okay in your house, in your home, and where you live, no matter where you live in the country, and that you're okay, and that I don't have to come there and necessarily, um, you know, do anything politically or anything to help you. I've already done what I could to help you have a good job, and to have low taxes, and that you're comfortable and a happy American. That's all my job is. If I was a politician, that's the only thing that I'd say. And after what I said, I just said basically disqualified myself unless there was a way I could uh, what do you say, rally to earn myself, you know, enough money to not be paid for a political occupied job if I ran for one now, because I don't have the ability that some people with money that I just said do. So I kind of put my foot in my mouth, but not really, because I mean, I'm sincere. I don't want to see the country go bankrupt or um, things terrible happen to people and people wind up in you know bad positions or having a problem with the Republicans necessarily anymore. So I was hoping that Donald Trump would become president. Maybe, like I was saying, maybe, in that he would really be the one guy who could turn everything around. Because everybody else that's running is basically a politician. They're gonna tell you whatever this and that. But anyways, on the share, so you make up your mind if you think this one. I'm not too sure because she didn't actually say Trump for president. Cher originally called Trump a loud-mouthed bigot when he announced his candidacy for president, but in a tweet in October, she said, "Never thought I'd say Donald Trump is a giant among GOP front runners." So I was making a joke about it, so I just I just said the joke was Bernie Sanders. That was my joke from Cher. I thought I heard her say Bernie Sanders. Terrell Owens, he says he's a guy who won't put up with BS and has what it takes to change how the government is run. He appeared on the most recent season of Celebrity Apprentice. So, I appreciate that these guys, come out and they are sounding intelligent with what their statement is. So, anyways, what I was going to say about that was you want to talk about not putting up with BS? They're going to give Trump a huge headache if Obama appoints another Supreme Court justice in there. I mean, he can't wait for the next president. He's not. He's not. Obama is not a. Um, I don't know if you could actually say he doesn't have dignity. He's not a very dignified person. I don't see if Bush would have actually said, "Yeah, I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna cram another Supreme Court justice in there." I think that they would have shut Bush down. And a lot of the talk that they talk crap about George Bush, just like Trump or anybody else, if they're talking crap about him, then Bush must have done something good. Out of all the crap that they say, he must have done something worth our while if those people are talking smack about him. That's my opinion for real. So, anyways, the retired NFL coach said of Trump, "I think that he has the fire in his belly to make America great again and probably do it the right way," in an interview with the Chicago Sun-Times. Ditka, the Bears, the Bears. Do. This one was kind of interesting. Ivana Trump kind of looks a lot different than what I recall her looking like. The socialite recently held a luncheon in support of her ex-husband. She says even his I guess she didn't say that, but I was led to believe that that's what she said. But his ex, Ivana Trump, is endorsing him. So evidently, she did make some money off the guy, or he gave her some money or something. She's not poor by any means. Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen, these guys kind of shocked me a little bit because they used to say kind of bad, terrible things about a lot of Republicans and Republican ideas and stuff. I did say, though, before that I wasn't going to mock him for saying coming out and saying that he had AIDS. I was saying that I felt so kind of sorry that he had it, so I wasn't going to put him down or anything like that. I was going to uh, say that I'm sorry that that happened in particular, and I don't care how the guy got the disease or whatever. I just am disappointed for Charlie Sheen, and I don't have a problem with him. So, anyways, after initially calling Trump a shame pile of idiocy in a tweet, Sheen had a change of heart a month later and tweeted that he'd be Trump's VP in a heartbeat. So I don't know what got up these guys' butt, what actually made them all react like that, except they had to of basically they're coming clean with being honest and knowing that Obama has been very dysfunctional and very unhealthy. Just a stonewall liberal, like fascist, like type of like ideology, crammed down our throat for this long. It's just terrible. And this guy right here, he is still predictable. I was like gonna give him some credit, Jesse Ventura, because I was saying on Facebook, I said, don't listen to what this guy says, but I'll give him a little bit of credence of what he said. But I do not, I would not ever vote for a Democrat and help get a Democrat elected or in there over a Republican ever, when a Republican's going to balance your budget and they're going to make sure that you don't necessarily go into debt like we are with this liberal attitude that we have now. So we hear what the Ventura says. Um, off the grid. Let's see. The former pro wrestler from Minnesota, former Minnesota governor and actor, was speaking with previous Trump staffer Roger Stone for Off the Grid. When Ventura said, I shocked my staff today, I came in and said, you know what, as far as the Republicans are concerned, I hope Trump wins. Though he also added, now I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat either, so ultimately I'd like somebody else to win overall. So I'm not sure that he's sincere about casting a vote for Donald Trump. If it comes down to it's going to be either Trump or somebody else, we'd have to wait to see if Trump didn't actually. He's toting right now a third party run again, so I don't know if he'd plan on going to one of those parties. But in particular, I wanted to talk about like personal people's rights. I thought that it was people's personal rights if they wanted to smoke cannabis. It was, in my opinion, that it shouldn't be for necessarily a medical reason. I was thinking today, I was like, well, they're kind of assholes. That's the reason why you got assholes on the right that want to stump legalizing marijuana, is because on the left you got a lot of hard hitting, staunch assholes that are all smoke weed. So I can understand the stonewalling of legalizing marijuana because of some assholes. That's just my opinion. But I still believe, even because of those assholes, that those assholes still have the right to smoke marijuana, as long as they, depending on how the state reacts legally by saying, like through the DMV, let's say if you can smoke under the influence or not. So that's only my opinion is what a state's opinion is, and if a state rules it out and votes against it, that's why I'm saying you have to respect what the people voted for, and you cannot allow the Supreme Court to keep coming in and keep pushing their weight and authority around and overshadowing their power over the people's power. You know, so that's an attack on the Constitution. Okay, support. Duck Dynasty supported Trump at a September 25th rally in Oklahoma where he was invited up on stage. So that's Willie Robertson supports Trump. We'll have to see what kind of who really Donald Trump was really going to nominate for a vice president, and then see where everybody stands on their opinion on Trump. If he nominates somebody for his VP that we all don't get along with, and it just shocks us and blows us away, then we'll be like, no, the businessman is losing it. Then we'll all probably think, oh, Donald Trump just lost it. He was doing so good and just just the snowball effect of just winning, going out there and just stopping, people's opinion for people to support him. And then we'll have to see, like I said, who Trump would nominate as his vice president to see if all of us would still be saying, yeah, I'm going to vote for Trump. I'm going to vote for Trump next month. We'll see how that goes next month. So, do you support Trump? I'm going to take a quick look and see. There's nobody viewing this still. So, on to Wayne Newton. Wayne Newton says basically the things that I can respect what he's saying. What he says that he likes the other Republican candidates. He didn't. Wayne Newton didn't say he favored any Democrat like Gene Simmons did, which led you to believe that he might possibly vote for a Democrat or whatever, that he likes them, but he could have possibly have been dodging a, you know, I understand. But I would not ever come out and support, endorse, and say anything positive to help a Democrat up to this point in time. I still would like to see how a complete Republican majority would do without any of these liberals and Obama and all these turncoats and people who I consider to be loyalists, like the loyalists were back in the Revolution when the American Revolution happened. They're the people that were loyal to England and not to our American freedom and cause, our own cause. So back then, at that point in time, if I could have envisioned everything up to this point in time and went back to then and been president and been George Washington, I would have. Another thing that I would have done is I would have abolished slavery, which would have dodged the Civil War altogether at that point. And then you would have had to ensure that everybody is successful in all the states and nobody is able to, you know, um, make more money off of somebody's product or somebody's productivity just because they're a dumb farmer or whatever your opinion of those people are. Farmers feed the world, so just keep that in mind. People who put a lot of time and effort into growing plants and ensuring that um, basically people eat. I think that's very noble of them. So, anyways, Tila Tequila, I'm not very familiar with. I'm sorry. The model and reality star posted a video on YouTube in 2015 expressing her support for Trump. Sorry, I apologize again. I wish I was more familiar with the person. And all I can say is I will try to pay attention to that one now since I'm ignorant to her. But I know Ted Nugent very well. Ted Nugent. So Trump should be given a Medal of Freedom for speaking his mind in such a bold, honest, and straightforward manner. I thought that was very uh, um, kind of honest and direct of him, of Ted Nugent, to come out and say, in my opinion, of his statement. We're going backwards on this. I went through there. I couldn't figure out how to get there. Back whenever he was saying that I wasn't supporting white people saying the N word. I'm just saying I'm not going to be one of the people that's going to line up to load up ammunition at uh, Hulk Hogan. I'm gonna save my energy and my focus, and my time will consume on another enemy or somebody else that I'll victimize somebody else. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna consume myself, uh, concern myself with, if that's his opinion, that's his opinion. I developed an opinion of white people being able to privately or whatever, however they do it, express themselves about black people or any other race of people as it is from being around other races and them having people that act the same exact way that absolutely hate white people. Beyonce, does Beyonce hate white people now? It looks like her and Obama and all those people absolutely hate white people. They're out to get Whitey, and Whitey has always been like, "Hey, we need to build a good community around here. So regardless of what color you are, there's always been good and bad people. So to be able to um, get all the good people in. And what I've been trying to work at and trying to figure out if you can even do, which I'm at least willing to see if it is to not just turn people's opinions around, but actually change myself and everybody else's character for the best. If there's an approach where you can go to confront people in a positive way where you benefit each person. Hey, 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 I'll take care of your food in a minute, okay? I need to get through this real quick. My dogs just ran out of food and water, so I need to go take care of that. Lou Ferringo, I've just been watching him on Hulu. We're watching Ren and Stimpy. I know I used to like that show. Um, this guy, when asked by TMZ for his thoughts on Trump, the actor and former bodybuilder said, I hope Donald goes all the way. He was also fired from a season of The Celebrity Apprentice. So, them guys being fired by the guy, being on the show or whatever, it's pretty big of them to come out and show their support, anyways. But they're successful regardless. So it's not like they were just a common person whose career and identity and everything was put into jeopardy and demolished by Donald Trump. If that were the case on any of those shows, but I still like the shows, and I still am guilty for saying that time and time again. Is you're fired. You're fired. That's a pretty common with me and some people, and we were just goofballs like that. So, retired pro basketball player tweeted on July, Donald Trump has been a great friend for many years. We don't need another politician. We need a businessman like Mr. Trump. Trump 2016, he was fired from season 2 of The Celebrity Apprentice. And that goes to show that we're not racist. We're not racist people. We all have the same exact common goals. We all have a mother and a father. A lot of us have children. Just keep that in mind, you know. Some of the dark things that I heard some people say is because they won't swallow the pride or something. I don't know what it is, but people who don't have children tend to be, and since I don't have children myself, I try to not be that way myself, is be kind of bitter towards people and family in general. It's kind of like a device like science, you know. Science is good, but whenever you start you know, basically uh I don't know, forcing stuff that's not true on the people instead of saying this is what we think. You know, they're saying, scientists say a lot of the time, or um people with the astronomers, anyways, in that particular field, I believe that they're just saying things, and then science is basically kind of beating around the bush a bit when they say, "Oh, this particularly could be the case." They say it's in fact. That's what they think. They think it's a fact whenever you're saying, "Oh, that's just an assumption of what the case may be, not a fact, you know, but they make it a fact on an assumption. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so Gary Busey, the actor, endorsed Trump back in 2011, even after being fired from season 4 of the Celebrity Apprentice, and offered his praise to the presidential hopeful again this year. He is a great guy. He's sharp. He's fast. He told Fox 411 he can change the country after the last 8 years. He could possibly do that. He might. He might be able to do that. Do Stephen Baldwin? I was wondering if his brother was gonna jump on board too. Maybe Baldwin, Celebrity Apprentice. Uh, he was fired on 2 different seasons, so he got on 2 different shows. Huh? Said during an interview with Don Lemon on a July episode of CNN Tonight that Trump would make a great president because he's not a politician and he doesn't care what anybody thinks. Do do do. Mike Tyson. It was the first one that they gave you. Mike Tyson. The former heavyweight champion announced that he would endorse Trump while appearing on Huffington Post Live on Monday. He should be president of the United States, Tyson said. So a lot of people think that that's very big of them, and I like Mike Tyson because I don't always uh, look at him like he's the illustration of evil or anything like that. I always look at people at their potential of what positive they can be if they're not already positive. So that's all that I have today. I just want to share that real quick. So thanks.